Or every moment I started to play, but all I can think about is seeing that on your face when you hurt under the surface.
Alright, looks like we are up and running.
About is seeing that on your face when you hurt about is seeing that on your face when you. How could you put this one?
Right, let's just have a look to see that we. Right, let's just have a look to see. All right, there we go. So we are up and running with the YouTube live stream. Excellent. And we will just start the recording as well. It's amazing how much setup is involved in the actual Right, we are up and running. So welcome everybody. My name is Trevor from Trade On Point. I'd like to welcome you to the live trading session. As you can see, something a little bit different from our charts. We have the Forex pairs that we've added to the mix. Now, I used to be a Forex trader for quite some time. Pretty much traded Forex most of my trading career. I am futures trader by heart, but you know, Forex, as long as you can give me a chart, I'm quite happy to trade anything. But we do get a lot of requests to try to mix Forex into the live trading room. So you guys have asked, we've listened, and ultimately that's what will be adding to our trading. So the pairs that I've chosen is currently the Aussie dollar is quite volatile, pound yen is always volatile, and the pound dollar, and that's pound dollar and pound general will sort of follow each other. I had a look at the euro yen, but I prefer to trade the pound dollar, and that's because we trade the London Open, so the pound certainly will move. Now, just for those of you that are new or going to be watching this afterwards, so here at Trade On Point, we try and teach you how we trade. We are not a signal service, so to speak. We prefer that you not just take our signals, expect to make money, and not learn anything, as opposed into actually learning what we do. So just to read out our risk disclaimer, Trade On Point and its holding company. While we are a registered company, we trade currency, stocks, futures, and options. But these do entail significant risks and loss, and it's not suitable for every investor or trader. It's a leverage product, guys. It's going to hold a lot of risk. You should consult with your financial advisor to get you independent advice whether trading is suitable for you. We are here to teach you how to trade. We're not here to tell you what to trade. That's a very important distinction that you need that you need to be aware of. The highly leveraged natures of futures and Forex trading can result in substantial gains, but as well, more importantly, substantial losses. You can actually lose more than your actual account balance. Furthermore, trading in leveraged accounts may result in losses, as I said, more than the money that you deposit in your account. And Trade on Point are holding companies, websites, directors, employees, partners, agents, affiliates, manage third-party accounts. We do not provide financial advice. We're not licensed for this purpose, and we are not licensed to provide investment advice either. Our services are merely focused on providing educational information to you. They're for educational, entertainment, informational purposes only, and all the content on our website and our YouTube channel, Facebook account, including emails and content that we feature, should not be construed as an offer to sell or buy any stock, currency, futures, contract, or optional investment product, or any other service. The information presented on Trade on Point is gathered from various sources like Forex Factory. We use their calendar from time to time. We use CNBC, Bloomberg. And while we believe that these are reliable, there's no guarantee on the accuracy and completeness of these other third-party websites or information. You are ultimately entirely responsible. Like I am responsible for my trading decisions, you are responsible for the trading decisions that you make. You should not make any trading decisions unless you understand the nature of the trades or transactions that you're entering into and your exposure to loss. If you don't fully understand these risks, firstly, you should be consulting with your independent financial advisor and try to learn what these are. That being said, trading is a good way to make a second income. Some people make a full-time income out of it, and certainly Trade on Point has a lot of good value to learn how to trade the market. I teach you how I get in and out of trades. I teach you how I manage risk, etc., etc. So if there's any questions, please send us an email. You can go to our website, tradeonpoint.com. Our full risk disclaimer is under the legal stuff on our website. Please make sure you read through that if you don't understand what I'm telling you now, because certainly we want to keep you on the safe side. If you do follow my trades from an educational purposes only, I would recommend and tell you to trade on a demo account, and that way you can see how we trade. And that way, if we take a loss, you're not losing actual money. At the same time, if you make a profit, you're not actually making money. But as I said, the objective is to teach you how to trade, not just to take trades for you. So that's with that out the way. Let's get on to our trading. We're just gonna get ready and reset everything here. Now, I have, as you can see, if you look here, I have a number of charts available to me, besides the ones that you actually seen on the screen. Now, what this is, and if I can just find my control center in amongst all of this, there we go. From time to time, you will see me looking up. What that is basically I am looking at other screens. I just want to clear all my P&L for the day. Right, so what we've got going on at the moment is I'm just I've just moved over to NinjaTrader 8 because we've changed brokers. And You see, I'm not the first person who's having issues here. Okay. Okay. There we go. That just irritates me. Right, so we are seeing that the pound yen and the pound yen and the pound US dollar head lower. The German index is not doing much at the moment, so that follows the DAX. The DAX is really the index for Germany. It has some really big players, heavy hitters in there. And we have seen the market gap open this morning on the DAX and then head lower. Now, I'll explain the charts that I use, but this is just where the DAX is at the moment. So there's a gap down. We have sold off. We are trying to come off this low. We are heading a little bit higher. It's going to be interesting, but at the same time, you can see all this support over here, which is now going to become resistance. And essentially, our next zone is really at 15,669. So it's which is really at the close on Friday. We will mark off as well this high value area over here. I just want to put it a little bit below or above that so I don't wipe out the my TAS box there. And we'll put support over there as well. Okay, just to get some idea. So you can see there, let's just get rid of that chart, that there certainly is bearish intraday at the moment with a possible retracement. We will be watching for that. However, we can see, as we said, the market's come down. It's trying to push up over the last hour. You can see definitely, if you look at that 3-minute chart, you've got a bit of a triangle pattern forming, and that certainly will be relevant later on. So what I do want to do, remember we do trade intraday, and it should be F2. I should actually use my shortcuts a bit more, but I'm going to put a trade on here. So that's going. So time now is just gone 20 past 7. We can see the Aussie as well. Now the Aussie dollar, I will expect in the 8-hour chart, we're still bearish. Aussie's had a significant sell-off recently. We have come off the lows. The lows are 72.92, and we are trading well above that. So that certainly we should put a No, I'm just looking at my daily chart here. Okay. Pound yen. Pound yen, I'm still expecting this pound to drop. That's I am anticipating a short on the pound yen. German index, I would like to see that fall. However, I just cannot predict the equities markets at the moment. While I have really taken a loss over the last 3 months, my intraday trading generally always ends up in a profit for the day, but for maybe 1 or 2 days. The overnight session for me, the regular session, just absolutely smashes it and seems to head higher. Why this market is not falling, only those above us know. But I am expecting. So, what am I looking to trade? Definitely German index and DAX. I want to take lower. The Aussie dollar potential longs, and the pound. Again, the pound yen potentially. Pound yen potentially a short. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. Yeah, definitely the pound yen potentially short. Right. Right. If you want to ask me any questions, go on to our. You can ask me on the YouTube chat. Alternatively, the best way to go is go on to the Trade on Point. Go and log in via Click Meeting, because Click Meeting is where you're going to. What happens is you get an instant feed. So you get an instant feed on Click Meeting as opposed to on YouTube and Facebook where they are delayed. However, it certainly will be you'll be able to follow me a lot closer. And I'll happily answer any questions in the chat. Good morning, Venera. So it's been quite fun. What we did is we started using a great broker I've used for many years, which is AMP Futures, but unfortunately they don't offer NinjaTrader. So I've managed to slowly move things over to FXCM, and that's where we're trading with at the moment. We're trading with FXCM, which do offer NinjaTrader. You know, the indexes are CFDs, however, and the spreads are slightly wider. But once, like for example, now the market's not open. Once the market opens, you can see here we've got a 5-point spread on the DAX. Now, if I go on to AMP and open up my MetaTrader 5, we'll have a look at what the spread. So that's kind of what I want to see this week. Is I want to see what my spreads are doing with regards to AMP futures and with and FXCM. I think that's important. So we can see here, that's obviously the NASDAQ. Get rid of that. We want the right contract month for a start. Got a 2-point spread on the DAX at the moment, and we've got a 4-point spread on the FXCM, 4 and a bit. So I'm hoping that tightens down to about 3 points. I don't mind paying, you know, you've got to pay some cream off the top to FXCM. I mean, we are using NinjaTrader. They do fortunately provide that for us. So we'll see how we go. And I want to monitor the difference between some of the other pairs as well. I don't know what's happened to all my charts. Seem to have minimized everything on myself. There you go. It's a bit of a pain. There you go, I'm back. Yeah. So I was just trying to sort my charts out there, but for some reason it just minimized all my charts for me. Right, so we've got a little while to the open. I'm going to short the DAX. Looking at the 1 hour chart, good for a short. I'm going to give it some legs though. So I'm probably going to give it about 40 points, which is quite a fair chunk. I just want to get a better entry price. I'd like to go and retest the Ichimoku cloud up here before I get in. That's my DAX there. I'm just missing. Am I missing? Yeah. Missing the pound dollar. Yeah. No. No. Yeah. Vanira, what's your trading experience like? Have you traded before, or you new to trading? This is the pound dollar. Here's how much you need. There's 115 sideways. 179. Okay. I mean, basically, the way I trade is, just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, I'm going to short the, and obviously this is just my trading. You know, so if you are trading, take it in some, but certainly, so I'm short the, so this is points, what is displaying on the chart here. So it's 1.9 points. It's not the dollar amount. It's a little bit, the dollar amount depends on how much I'm trading. So, for example, I trade the equivalent of a micro or two lot. So don't be deceived if it says minus 144. That's pretty much the from my entry price. And then my stop, I'm going to stick, like I said, I'm going to give it a bit of legs. I'm probably going to put my stop somewhere at about high. Okay, here's my line. Okay, so that's fine. My stop's going to be somewhere probably about 15, 6, 11. Give it about 30 points. Okay, stop. My target's going to be take it to the bottom of this box, about 21. So it's 15.521. So you can see here, here's my targets right down here. But we'll monitor the trades. Yeah, I get in and out on technical analysis. It's funny, I was hoping it would push up, and it didn't seem like it was going to push up, and I wanted to try and get an entry about 86, but that's fine. 75 is fine. It's only 2 points away, 11 points away. So the way that I trade out, and I'll use we'll use the pound dollar for this, is you have the Ichimoku cloud or Ichimoku, depending on how you pronounce it. Everyone seems to pronounce it differently. I'm sure there's a right and a wrong way to do it. But that's the green and the pink cloud that you see on my chart. So that indicator means at one glance. What that means is you can have a look at the price, and there's a few other things that I don't use for it. But if you had all the indicators, so if it's above the cloud, so you picture this to be the cloud, and if it's above the cloud, it's bullish. If it's below the cloud, it's bearish. And one of the trades with the Ichimoku cloud is you have a bearish break of the cloud. So, for example, when it breaks below the cloud, then your cloud becomes resistance. If it breaks above the cloud, for example, like here, so if you go and get my Eclipse, Control F11. So, for example, here it broke above the cloud. Here, this was a fault signal, and here it broke above the cloud. So when it breaks above the cloud, then your cloud becomes support. So you can see here the cloud supported it, and then we broke through the cloud, and we ended up in a short. Over here, we can see we broke through the cloud, and we ended up going higher over here, and the same over here. We've broken through the cloud, and we ended up going lower. Now, on their own, obviously that's just one indicator. So I don't just take the one indicator as, and especially in shorter time frames, because you do get chopped up. So if I put this, for example, on a 60-minute chart, you will see you get a lot better results. But of course, then you get a lot fewer trades. So you can still see here, and there's obviously a failed signal. Even the signal goes on to work. The signal down here goes into work. So you can see it's a powerful strategy. And I've just marked off all the entries, and you can see on each of these, price ended up going lower, price ended up going higher, price ended up going lower, and so on. And obviously, you had this massive run over here. But what I do is I look for a few things. I look for, obviously, your normal. Now, you've probably heard, and those guys that are also on YouTube, which will come through in a minute, or Facebook, you look for your normal patterns that you have. So, for example, you'll be looking for F11, I think it is. Here's a quadruple top. So this is in itself a very powerful signal, because price has gone up, it's got rejected, it's come back down, it's got rejected, it's come back down, it's got rejected. And each time it's hit this level of about 139.03, or call it 139 even, it's ended up rejecting, and eventually we make these lower highs. You can see here we had this one really bearish candle, and ultimately the market sold off. So I'm looking for that in conjunction with an Ichimoku cloud break. The other thing that I'm paying close attention to on my chart is I'm paying close attention to the TAS Navigator. Now, the TAS Navigator doesn't actually look like this. I've modified this version of it. So ultimately what I want is I want a TAS box break. So you can see here, these lines on my chart, these over here, which I'm just pointing to, the green line is what they call the low value area, and the red line is called the high value area. And what that means is that most volume for that period is trading in that area. And that's kind of when you look at reading order flow, so you look at all your bids in your office coming into the market, and you see whether traders are hitting the bid. In other words, if people hit the bid, then the market tends to go lower, and if traders hit the offer, then the market tends to go higher. So right now you can see we did retrace up a little bit on the DAX, but you can see as we're going down. So what that means is traders are hitting the bid. And to give you an example of that, sorry, I do like to talk. We can see here. So this is the well, that's the Euro stocks. Let me go onto the DAX. There we go. Okay. So that's the mini DAX, which is the GER30 on FXCM futures. So if we then look at time and sales, which is this area over here, we can see we've got the orders on offer and the orders on the bid. And that's referred to as market depth. So you can see over here, when it hits pink, we now hitting the offer. So if we hit the offer, price goes up. If we hit the bid, then price tends to go down. And that's what these TAS boxes mean, is that generally, potentially got a trade here. So 8 hours still going down. We've had such a massive sell-off on the pound dollar. I'm just reluctant to take shorts on the pound dollar. I prefer to take longs, just looking at the anchor charts. But ultimately, what you find is when you look at order flow, you look at it breaking out the TAS box, and once it does that, then it normally gets legs. Here we're trading right into this cloud. So is that a good trade? Well, we've ticked the box. We've got a TAS break. That's a positive, but we're also trading right into support, which is the cloud. So we've got to be careful of that, and that's why it's not probably the best trade. Now, let me just close my door. Just bear with me 1 second. Amber, what's wrong? You got Penny? Okay. Sorry, we've got a new puppy dog, and she tries to get out, and when she gets out, she drives the kids nuts because they panic. They're going. She's a very cute dog. So we get this TAS box breakout, and then we expect price to go. So here's a great example of what I like. Now, trading, you've got to be patient. We don't want to just hit the trigger because we're going to end up shooting ourselves in the foot. So here you've got a TAS box break. At the same time, you've got this. At the same time, you've got a break on the trend line, which I drew in earlier, and you can see that the market's starting to head south. So that's a good short. Yeah, she's now we can see now, if you look at, we've got 14 minutes to go to 8 o'clock. In 14 minutes time, this market is just going to go. So I'm quite happy in this in the DAX trade. I'm going to call it the DAX because I'm a futures trader. I can't call it the GER30. So we'll just call this the DAX. Now, what am I looking at? So I want a long on that. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the pound yen shorts as well. Why not? And again, this is probably going to be more of a swing trade on this one. So I'm definitely going to give it some. I'm definitely going to give it some legs. Chart trader. What is my chart trader? Let's see now, chart trader hidden. That's what I like. Okay, so it's just a mini lot. So the other thing we're doing now is we're doing what we call the top 2000 challenge. I don't know if you've seen it on our website. So top 2000 is we essentially trying to turn a $2,000 account into something great. Stop on that one. Like I said, I'm going to give it some massive legs. I'm going to be at 152.28. And target, you have no idea. My target is going to be sitting at, see if we can get it a little bit further down. I'm going to monitor it around about 150.60. We'll go to break even, or I'm going to break even. And then I'm going to see if I can take it all the way down to um, 140. I'm going to go 150 even. No, sorry. I'm going to go 149.35. So that's if that works out, that's going to be a hell of a trade. Yeah, the DE30 is the same. Yeah, so it's DE30. So the way it works is DE30, GER30, the DAX. They're all the same thing. So we've broken through that low. Obviously, going to retest that low now. And then in about 8 minutes' time, I'm probably just going to tighten my stop all the way up. I don't want to do it now because the spreads are so wide on here. But I'm going to tighten my stop. I'm probably going to break even if I'm in profit. And then either it's going to sell off or it's going to rally. That's what you find happens with the European Open. Is it we normally either just sell off or we rally, and that depends on what the overnight market's done as well. Because you can imagine if people were short on stocks, for example, and the markets then rallied and it comes in and they just get out, so they've got all these buy orders and they push the market up, and vice versa. So we're about 1.5 points, which is not much. I mean, it's about 12 years 50 on a mini contract. It's looking good. I think we'll get it down to the cloud at 155.21. So just to give you an idea, so I'm trying to take more swing trades in the room, just because I've been doing quite successfully on my day trades, and what I find is as soon as I get out of the room, you know, I'll keep trading and have a look at stuff, and what happens is I end up taking some swing trades and I make some awesome bloody profits. And a lot of them, like I said, we're just doing the top 2,000 account. But it's it's been quite phenomenal. Now, obviously, a lot of these are traded on mini and micro lots because of the top 2,000 account. But to give you an idea, this is, and then what I do is I trade on my Interactive Brokers account as well. But you can see here, we've got profit. Ignore the black because those are corrections. You can see over here, they're corrections. So it's profit, 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 loss, profit, 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 profit. Keep going on, profit, profit, $962 there, profit, loss, profit, 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 profit. We should go a bit higher. Yeah, and that was it. So, you know, there's 2 losses and I don't know, 30 or 40 profits in there since the top 2,000 account. And a lot of the account, even before then, when I was trading, you can see here, when what am I doing? When we're testing out the account, you can see here again, and again, ignore the black ones because they're synchronization corrections. It's got profit, 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 and then a couple losses and a profit. So you can see our win to loss ratio is not too bad. No, that's the thing. Anyone that thinks that they're just going to profit on a trade, you're kidding yourself. It doesn't work that way. Okay, and I'm just going to jump in on my other account as well. That's the only problem with the room is I end up trading my top 2,000 account, and then I forget to go and trade on my own account. So, which is exactly what happened now. So I just entered a short position on my own account. That's obviously trading slightly higher than the micros. So you can see here we had that little rally, but that's fine. We went straight into the cloud. The cloud acted as resistance, and hopefully we can come back down and test this low. So you can see here I've jumped into that trade. This is now when I was talking to you on the phone, and we'll take that $41 off the table now. Done. So that trade lasted, that's $41 I've made in the 30 seconds of stuff that's coming out of my mouth. Trading higher lots though. It's about 10 seconds, about $4 a second. I did want to show you the 1 hour chart there as well. So this is the 1 hour chart. Again, that's the G30, or sorry, the D30, or the so you can see here we're going, there we go. Like I said, that's the other chart, hit resistance, hit the cloud, and now we're coming back down into profit, going into the open, starting to sell off a little bit. Not too far away from our buy stop, just terrifying. But you can see here we had a gap open, we're making lower lows. Now, if I now go and put this onto a 4 hour chart, which I should have somewhere up here, this is why it's exciting. This is where the excitement comes from. We can see here. I'm just going to move my stops out the way so that you can, my limit out the way as well. So you can see here we had the gap open, we are trading down. We've come out of this double top over here. So we got this double top. Here we've definitely got, and if you've got a chart, put this on your chart. So that's the trend line that I want to kind of go towards. And then I've got another trend line here. Oh, my apologies. I should be able to control it too. Okay. So those are going to be two significant if it goes in our favor, and that's kind of, I think, on the long term. Obviously, the price is going to move more towards the right, so you probably find we might trade down to about this level here, but we want our stop nice and tight, probably above, just above the 4 hour candle, something like that, to give you an idea. And then if we continue to go down, we've also got this level over here, which is which we can put in. Now that level there, so I'll just take, so that level there is the where we're starting to reject, where price is being rejected, and then obviously we hit in the offer at that point. So what we really want is we want to turn on the navigator and get a red dot here, and that'll be a confirmation, and I'll go through it another time what that actually means. But for right now, that's kind of what I'm looking at. And I'll show you the pound yen as well. I want my stop higher than, I don't know why I put it there. It should be, let's get that stop above that, somewhere up there. Now the pound yen, you know, it's a 3-minute chart. I mean, half of this loss over here is actually just the spread, because the spread is the spread is quite wide on the pound yen. But if you look at the pound yen, and I'll bring that onto the chart now. Again, we'll start on the 1-hour chart. And again, this is what I'm looking at. You've got this massive sell-off. You know, we're getting this retracement, and we're forming a low. We're going up. We're into the head and shoulders. Head and shoulders is one of my favorite patterns in the world. I'll show you a trick with the head and shoulders now. So you've got the shoulder here, you've got the head over here, and you've got the shoulder, right? It's always easy to see in hindsight, you know, but I do see these things as they present. So there's your neckline, right? Check this out, and I'm not just looking at this chart. Go and look at your own chart and tell me how many times you see this. So you take from the neckline to the top of the head, and then you take that and you take it to where it broke the neckline, which is there, and then you'll see here. Look at this, and that's kind of, you can see price went there and then kind of tried to go back and got rejected. And then you've got this little bit of consolidation, then it broke again. But that's kind of how you gauge with these head and shoulders patterns. You know, you're always, it doesn't say it's always going to work. It doesn't, but it works more often than not. You can kind of gauge where your target is on the longer time frame. So we had this sell-off here. We've had this retracement. You can take that as one wave, and then we've got, maybe looking at that, might be the third wave. But what you'll find is, and again, you know, you put your trend lines on. You know, this is obviously just your basic trading that you should always be looking at. But I love that. And there's a lot you can see in this actual pattern here, because you just got this full-blown consolidation here. What you then got this next wave down, and then you've got the market come up here. Now we're getting rejected over here. We've had a break below the Taz box. As long as we stay below this high value area here, we should sell off, and then we can either go down or we can at least go and retest this low. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with the pound yen, and that's why I wanted to give it a little bit more legs, a bit more breathing room than the other. You know, we're never going to pick the exact highs. I mean, that's a given. So it's 8:02, just to let you know. So market is now open. We're not really doing much. The market's trying to find its feet. I'll get order flow up here in a moment. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. You can see there. And you probably find I should give this stop maybe a little bit more, not too much, because of. So here again, so this is now our daily chart. And we can see here, we could actually easily set up into a head and shoulders pattern over here with, oops, wrong one. So that potentially is a shoulder, and then we've just got to try and see if it's going to set up something over here. So I'd be looking, for some consolidation. That's why I've got to monitor where I want my stop. You've got a little head and shoulders within that as well. You can clearly see that. That being your head and shoulders pattern. And then, so you've got up, down, and then obviously your neckline, and then there's consolidation from your neckline. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And if we do get that pattern, if this is the shoulder, again, if we go and put our line on, we can say, okay, well, there's our break. And then we can take our line from the neckline up to the head, move that over to where we broke, and that's our potential target down here. 146. And we get 146 on this. I mean, wow. We'll smash through our target, obviously. But that's kind of why I'm not worried too much. A 20 pip loss is nothing in the scheme of things, because I'm able to manage my risk. What is the Aussie dollar doing? Let me have a look. Aussie dollar. Look, the Aussie dollar in the grand scheme of things, fundamentals driving it at the moment. Fundamentals, I think we potentially still could head lower and take out the low. And then I'll be seeing if it'll push down to 71. Personally, I wanted to go low because I need to pull some funds out of my Interact Brokers account, which is in US dollars, to bring it back to Australia. So the lower it goes, the better for me. I can hit the 4.9k. And then once I get out, then I'll probably take a long position on it. Chief Biden's going to print some more money. So we can see, the open's not that, it's unfortunately not that exciting today. We haven't even got a rally. Let's have a look at the let's have a look at what the let's see what the Nasdaq's doing. The Nasdaq is a phenomenal instrument to trade as well. If you're into trading that would have been the better trade there. And the funny thing is, if you look at my results, pretty much all I've traded is the Nasdaq and the Dow and the ES, nothing else. But being a European trading room, we thought we would certainly have to go and trade. No, Monday's always terrible. I thought I have to throw the DAX into the mix, but generally all my trades are if I get my or Dow Jones based or the ES. In fact, if I'll just bring up that, which is quite funny. So MESM is that's the ES, that's the S&P 500, and you can see, look at that. So you've got a bit of DAX trade in there. Then you've got all this ES trades, and then my DAX trades. Sorry, my Nasdaq trades and my Dow Jones trades, my YMs. Love the YM, it's best market involved. So you can see we've there you go, YM. That's obviously the previous month. This is December. So that's the MYMU. That means September. So you can see obviously that's how many trades I've done in July when obviously the contract rolls over. I find, do you know what I find? I find the index trading, I'm not going to say easier. At the end of the day, give me a chart and I can trade it. I'm just going to, but what I find is the index, like for example, I'll just open up my NinjaTrader 7 because I've got my old charts there. What you find is you get so familiar with how an instrument trades. So you get familiar with how the Dow trades. You get familiar with what the ranges are. You get familiar with, like for example, I know for the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the ES, you're always going to get a rally or a sell-off, and then you'll get a pullback almost straight away within the next few hours. So you can kind of say, well, 2 hours of my day, and I'm going to get 2 or 3 decent, really, really good trades out of it. And I'm hoping that the DAX is going to do the same. But you can see on the Nasdaq, I mean, look at that. That's pre-market there. So 7 o'clock, we have a break above the TAS box, a break above the TAS box, and then we have this rally, pull back into a double top. So this is my other chart, which I use. Now I'm getting this. I'm busy programming this indicator, getting this for my NinjaTrader 8. That's in fact that's one of my last trades that I did the other day, and you can see all my buys and sells. This is obviously on a scalping chart, but this is pretty much what you get. You can see, pre-market, when is this? This is certainly not today because I haven't got the price feed going. I'm connected to a broker, but so this would have been Friday, maybe not Friday or Thursday, the last time I traded. But you can see there, it's pretty much just a break above the TAS box. You get this rally and you get the sell-off. And you can see here again, let's go back to 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock, here you go. Market opens, market rallies, market sells off. That's why I'm just saying it's really, and the ES is the same. If I go to 8 o'clock, there you go, 8 o'clock, down here, 8:02, pre-market, we get a retest of the TAS box, we get an entry, market rallies. Now watch here, I'm bringing it, oh, thank God, so I didn't know which way it went, but no, it's just, look at that, rallies and then sells off, and then goes on to rally overnight. And this is where I always get it wrong, because I always think the rally is going to continue, and it never does. So I said to my wife the other day, I said, I must be the worst trader in the world, because although I make money every day, yeah, it's beautiful, really, really good behavior. And although I get it right intraday, because I'm just trading my charts, my overall perception of the market recently has been wrong, and what I do is I put that down to, obviously, the Fed we've got a lot of Fed intervention at the moment. So Nasdaq's the Nasdaq's trying to short, so we're still above the cloud. That's what we're doing here. So I'm going to take a trade on the Nasdaq. That'll be my final trade for tonight, and then I'm just going to let them run. Let's have a look what we're doing. Where's my stop going to be? Again, I'm going to give some latest stop. It's going to be because I'm not set up for the NASDAQ. NASDAQ will be US 100, Tech 100 is another name for it. 144 is going to be my stop. Buy stop at 144. That'll be an awesome trade as well. Yeah, Tech 100. So if I open up, for example, I'll open up, for example, Pepperstone. Which broker do you use? So this is, for example, Pepperstone. So you can see US 30, that's Wall Street 30. So that would be the Dow Jones. UK 100, that would be the FTSE, FTSE 100. That NAS 100, that's or Tech 100, that's the NASDAQ. US 500 is the S&P. And then on this one, it's GR as well, probably the German index, because it's a CFD. So there's a big difference between a CFD and a future. US Tech, yeah, that'll be it. But yeah, the opening is not that exciting, but I can tell you one thing: if this market, the market has to roll at some point. You know, it's really puzzling me as to why we're trading at these levels. Like, you know, I used to trade on the futures desk many lifetimes ago. And let me FX is not giving me the. Let me see if I can go into the. Let me see how much. They don't give me enough historical. Actually, wait. Give me 1 second. I'm being a bit of an idiot here. FX in there, right? And I want to go. No. 700 days. Let's see if it does it. It'll take some time to load, but do my chart. I've just turned the chart trader off. I hate looking. I have on my other charts. I have my P&L, but I'm not one to P&L watch. It's you know, and it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, and it just plays with the nerves, I find. I'm sure you do it as well. You know, you look, oh, I'm up, you know, $20, now I'm down $15, now I'm up $21, now I'm up $50, now I'm down for, you know, it just kind of plays with your mind. So normally I have it on my other charts, which are out of my peripheral vision, and I prefer just to getting my trade. I know where my entries are. I can see them. That's it. I set and forget. Is that my? What am I looking at? I was looking. Okay. I think this is my daily one. Okay. This is what I wanted to show you. For 700 days. Right, so we've got roughly 2 years, give or take. So if you look at this, I mean, the market has actually, wonder if FXM will give me, I'm either going to crash my system or no, it's giving it to me. Okay, so look at this. All right. So this is October 2000. So obviously GFC, we had GFC crashes down, Dow Jones gets to about 6,500, and then we start picking up. But really, I mean, especially before our tech boom, 2018, 2019, this year is really is this new tech boom that we're going on. So we're getting all these apps that are coming out, and you're hearing about these overnight millionaires. A guy designs an app for, I don't know, preschool education, you know, overnight in a couple of years, it's pretty much worth $4 billion. We get these software exchanges that come out, and it's almost like the Bitcoin phenomenon, where people just don't, we're just in this buying frenzy at the moment. But then when you look at, like, you know, job numbers, unemployment claims, retail sales, the exports versus imports, all those figures are coming down. That they're not, they a lot of them aren't meeting expectations, so it's bad. However, we've got, obviously, monetary policy is easing at the moment. We've got the US has thrown pretty much $3 trillion, and now they've thrown more money at the market. So when they say that they're bringing out stimulus, or they're bringing out, what they mean is a lot of the time they're just buying into markets to kind of keep the share price or keep the economy from crashing. That's what it comes down. Because if the economy crashes, the first thing that you do, and this is what, you know, when you're trading for an institution, is you rely a lot more on your fundamentals. So, for example, Walmart. If Walmart's stock price crashes, their debt to equity ratio goes up. It becomes more expensive for them to borrow money because there's more risk. Then obviously, if the market's crashing, people aren't going to Walmart. They're not buying all your TVs and everything else. They're probably buying ammo and stuff like that. But I'll get you a question now. So what happens is, the biggest way to do it is to cut jobs. But then if you cut jobs, then unemployment rate goes up. If unemployment rate goes up, then people can become even more scared. They stop buying and so on. That's how market cycles work. And then what happens now, we've been in this massive growth cycle since 2020. Obviously, you know, the Trump era, the market just, you know, didn't stop. We've had a few corrections over here, these little corrections here, but we definitely due for probably a 15% retracement on the markets. That's kind of where I'm thinking, and especially if we look at the if we can put 2 on here. If we go to the Fibonacci retracement, and let's say this was the high, and the second one, which I think is more relative, although a friend of mine completely disagrees with me, is this one here, from this last correction in the market. So you're looking at, you can see all the, you know, 13,000. So we got 2,000 on the tech market. That's a 23%, but I think we should really pull back towards between 11 and 12,000, and then potentially head higher. And obviously we'll have to take out that high. So, you know, this is unsustainable. We have to eventually, you know, what we've got at the moment is we've essentially got this here. We just got this rally with the small corrections, and then we just have this massive crash. Now, and this is the other thing, you know, what's funny is you get, obviously, COVID gets announced, you know, it's a terrible thing. People, there's uncertainty. If you look at the VIX, or the volatility index, goes through the roof, and we get this massive sell-off here. Then people become complacent, and now we're actually getting, obviously, we're pushing inflation through the roof at the moment again, you know, and yet, and big thing is we have obviously inflationary pressures here, but governments are coming out and saying, well, we're not going to increase interest rates. We're not going to increase the cash rate, which means mortgage prices are sitting at all-time lows as far as your interest rates goes. I don't know where you're from, but here in Australia, you can get a mortgage for about 1.8%. I mean, you don't make money on 1.8%. from Russia. Yeah. What's your interest rates on mortgage prices, on house prices? Is it as low as we are over here? In Australia, pretty much giving you free money, and on top of that, you only have to put down a 5% loan. I mean, we're looking at selling this place that we've got, and we're looking at properties of $1 million, and you have to put down a $50,000 deposit. I mean, that's a joke. Obviously, we're not going to do that. We're going to put a lot more than that. But respectfully, it's incredible how much free money there is at the moment. So I think we're due for a correction at some point. In answer to your question, do I just no? I do monitor it. I do monitor it. So, for example, here I can see, getting back to this Nasdaq trade, the market's pretty much sideways. We're back into a TAS box over here. If we I like to trade, because I'm trading intraday. These are more swing trades, but because I'm trading more intraday, I've gone through the fundamentals over the weekend, and I'm having a look at what they're doing. I think I'm looking at, for the Nasdaq, I want my stop just above the high, because we're trading at what they call blue skies. So blue skies is the highest levels that we've ever been at. That's where we're pushing the Nasdaq. Which is not too far away from where we are at the moment. So Nasdaq, my stops, it's not going to be at all-time blue highs, because that's just ridiculous. But my stop's probably going to be at just above the high of the on Friday. So to give you an idea. Because if we go and we breach that, especially looking at the daily chart, we're looking at then taking out that high, we'll push higher, and then we're going to go and retest on FXEM. It's going to be 13,841. So it'll blow through my stop, and then I'll be looking to try and get back into that, and that'll confirm that head and shoulders pattern that I was talking to you about. So that's kind of where I'm going at the moment. On the German index, again, high on Friday night, when we sell off. I mean, that's still looking really good. I really like that trade on the DAX. But what I will say to you is, if my trade on the, so obviously CFD providers price, I don't know if your index is priced, holy shit, 9.92%. Wow. Do you know what I should do? I should take $1 million mortgage, and then, at 1.8%, send my money over to Russia. You can put it in the bank, get around about, whatever, the 10% mark. And it's called a carry trade. I don't know if you've heard of that. Australia got killed over it, because at one point we were offering about 7.9% interest on cash. This is just before I was working for MF Global at the time, so it would have been just before the credit crisis. We were offering around 7.5% interest on cash, and you could borrow in Japan at 0.1%. So we had all these Japanese hedge funds, and they ended up borrowing so much money, as much as they could, because they were borrowing like 0.1%. Then they come and invest it at 7%, and then they'll give their investors a return of maybe 3 or 4%, and they premium like 3.5 or 3.4% off the top. But yeah, 9.2%. I think if Australia was 9.2%, I think 25% of Australia would lose their house overnight, because so many people, I mean, all my friends, a friend of mine just bought a house today, and it was like $375,000 or something around there. It was the high threes, and she put down 5% on that. Now you can imagine, and she's borrowing on what she earns, you know what I mean? So a lot of people, if it went up to 9.2%, they wouldn't be able to pay the interest rates. Wow, yeah. That's incredible. And that might be the reason that your inflation is going through the roof. Yeah, it's certainly funny times at the moment. So the German index come down a little bit. It's still trading just above, not just above break even, about 13 points above my entry on that one. Nasdaq's pretty much spread plus a little bit, so I'm not too concerned about that on my Nasdaq. That pound yen trade is looking like the best out of the lot, because we've just rejected off the Ichimoku cloud. So that one I'm very comfortable holding that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I look for. Is you still monitor your positions, and we're going to be bringing out a lot of courses with risk management, because we're the new kid on the block. I always call us that. But my background, I worked for Commonwealth Bank, their trading division, the biggest bank. I think, the second biggest bank, but the most well-known bank in Australia. I worked for a company called MF Global. So I worked on Commonwealth Bank's share trading desk. And then I worked for MF Global. MF Global, we were a 90-year-old company with offices in London, in Singapore, in Sydney, Australia, and in Chicago. And the CEO that took over basically killed the company during the credit crisis and bet the wrong way on credit bonds. Basically bet on all the junk bonds, bought all the junk bonds. Wiped out a company, and thousands of us lost our jobs. However, we were the biggest commodities broker in the world by volume. We would trade billions and billions of dollars. And I was a risk analyst for MF Global. So my job was to manage risk on both our institutional accounts and our retail accounts, which was quite funny because you would see guys. I'd call them up, hey, mate, you're in a margin line. You owe us $4.2 million. And then the next day, oil would crash like that. And your phone up and say, hey, you're no longer in a margin line. You're now up $2 million. You make $6 million overnight. Just not addressing risk properly. So I am Mr. Risk Management. So my background, I've been trading for 25 years. 25 years. I started off trading Forex. I got into futures. I made a lot of money trading options on futures. That was kind of my niche, and kind of got back into trading Forex. But I think by heart, I'm always a futures trader. I think indexes are the easiest thing in the world to trade, especially the Dow Jones, the US 30. And the reason for that is it trades in such small amounts that, as you saw in my chart, it prints really clean. I can pull up any chart, even one of the charts I use on the now this is a really basic chart. I'm trying to teach my 12-year-old daughter how to trade. So I programmed this indicator for her. This indicator is based off this water, and this is just what this indicator does. If it's above the cloud, because I'm trying to teach you how to trade the Ichimoku cloud. So I'm trying to tell her the name's Amber, and I say, Amber, if it's above the cloud, you've got to go long, you've got to buy. And if it's below the cloud, you've got to go short. So anyway, this indicator we got is what it does is it prints green bars or green candles when it's above the cloud, and it prints. I'll just take off the other indicator. That's one I was trying out the other day, just to get rid of all this extra junk. There you go. So basically what I said to her is I said, when it goes above the cloud and this water tile breaks above the trigger line, it's going to print an arrow, which you can see there, and that's when you're going to go long. And if it prints an arrow over here, then you ignore it once it's above the cloud. And ultimately, I've been showing how to trade, and obviously if it goes below the cloud, you short it, and then I'm teaching it pretty much just how to enter the market. And even on this system, I mean, you can see even on this system, if I just condense this chart, you can see what you can see on the chart. You got profit, nice profit, loss, profit, loss, profit, break even probably, profit, loss, profit. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully, she's very switched on. She's very mathematics. Like you guys in Russia, I always envy you, because a lot of the Russian traders that I've had the pleasure to meet, they're just phenomenal at maths. And I thought I was good, but yeah, don't even come close. You can see here, look at this ES as well. Look at this trend line that's sitting here. So you've got this trend line here. So we've got 2 touch points after our low. But what's also significant here is you've got this trend line here. And we can see we're just consolidating sideways. So what we want on this, let me just blow it up so you can actually see it, is we want this to, even if it goes to retest this trend line, ultimately we want it to break below this this Ichimoku cloud, and then we're on our way. And if I put that onto a daily chart, you can see, look at this nice, so you can see here we've got this nice bullish candle, so we obviously had to sell off over here, and then we've got this first bullish candle, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then you can see how this one is really small. We're not getting a massive range. Obviously that's the Friday, and then we started off with open, and we now hit in the offer. Remember I said hit in the offer, prices are going to start coming down, and just on the daily chart you could do that. And if prices continue to go down, there's another trend line sitting here, which is here. You can see you've got 1, 2, 3 touches, 4 touches. So if we come down and we break this trend line, it could go all the way down to here, and that's a lot of points. That's 80 points. That's a fair amount of money. I mean, 80 points on a mini contract, which I used to trade normally minimum 1 mini contract. That's $50 a point, so it's a $4,000 profit per contract. And if you're trading 10 contracts, well, you're up at $40,000. And then you watch. In fact, if I go here, I'll go market depth on here. Look at this. Hopefully you can see this on my screen. Look at this. You've got 57 contracts sitting there, 64 contracts, with each contract, being over $200,000. It's big money. I mean, you've got 24 contracts on offer. 24 contracts is $1,000 a point. 20 contracts, sorry. And you can see, we are trading more down than we're trading up. If you want, I should have your email on file. But if you want, what platform do you use? Are you using MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5? MT4. I think I have this. For MT4. There's another indicator I like. I'll show you, because I've used MT4, many decades. Now I use this. I don't use this broker, but it's going to take a while to load. I'm probably going to crash my system trying to do it. But just give it a minute or two. I am watching the charts on the on my top charts. There's a lot of resources built into. I've got a lot of charts just so Hopefully it's not going to destroy the system because I'm trying to run 4 platforms at the moment. There we go. Okay. So I just wanted to look at I'll have a look to see if I've got, I'm sure I've got that I'm sure I've got that indicator. If I find it, I'll email it to you. But what I was going to say is, if you want, so this is a great indicator here as well. So have you ever heard of PZ trading? So PZ, what it does is it prints this box over here. So now we're on the Dow, which is my favorite pair. So this is just another version. So these are just support and resistance lines that are over here. And then you've got the TAS boxes. Same thing, you've got these TAS boxes here. And there's an indicator called the PZ indicator. So if I actually bring it up, I'll just have a look. Market watch, you get a new chart up. Indicators. Okay, this chart here, you can pretty much trade and make money on it. You can see, so this is the water tower. Have you heard of the water tower? Great indicator. So basically, you want the value to be above the brown line, and at the same time, so you can see these boxes don't repaint. What they do is they break outside the box, and then it'll give you a box. A blue box is for longs, a red box is for shorts. And I'll type it all in now. And then you've got the XTL, which is based off Elliott wave. The XTL indicator is basically, you've got these grey, purpley. I try to keep this chart nice and neutral. But you've got these purple bars. Now I always put it to bars. That's candles. I always put it on bars because you can see the highs and lows. So that's basically just sideways. When you get a green candle or green bar like this, that's when the idea is to go long. So even though this one printed, and you can see it went on to work and made 500 points. This is on a daily, sorry, 4 hour. This one didn't get you into the trade. It got you in over here, and you'd still make, even if it got you into the trade here, you wouldn't take it because it's so long afterwards. You'll still make 161 points. So you can see here. I mean, I'm sure you would agree with me. You know, this is, even look here when you're looking at the small numbers here. You've got, obviously this one didn't work out. You can see this next, but here you get in. You've got 393 points. You got one over here, 255 points. This one over here, 74 points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you copy email address, Outlook. I'll just do it. I don't want to read it out because I don't want to give your email address to everyone. I'm just waiting for Outlook to load. So let me just go to open data folder. Account full indicators. Okay. This way my computer's a bit slow. Okay, there we go. So 17, that's looking good. Okay. MP4 template, and now let's just do this. So we want the XTL. I'll give you what I tie as well, and the boxes will be this. And the support and resistance I'll give you as well. Just because you've been very interesting. You kept me good company tonight. And then what I'll do as well is let's get rid of those. I go template, save as, I'm going to call this PW T4. All right, you obviously, I take it you know how to load templates with MetaTrader. Okay, that's all on its way to you. So what you do is basically load the indicators in. You know how to do that. You just go to File, Open Data Folder. Once your data folder opens, and then load the indicators into indicator folder. So what is this? Yeah, Open Data Folder should come up, and then here you go, empty for indicators. Throw all the indicators into there. Okay, load is no problem. Yeah, and then obviously just template load, and then go to that wherever the email is where we save it, and that should bring up that chart. And you can see, especially on that on a 15-minute chart. I'll just show you. Yes, you can see India. You can see. Look at that, and remember tick bars as opposed to candles, because then it doesn't work. But you can see here, it's brilliant. But I kind of like it for the 4 hours and the dailies and weeklies, obviously, because you can see here it really needs a bit. So that's your 4 hour on the Dow Jones, that's your daily on the Dow Jones, and that's your weekly. I mean, look at that. Even this, look, it's actually this weekly on the Dow Jones is still a signal, even though it's gone against it. It's still, I mean, right now it's a down day today. I mean, like I said, we had all these up days last week, but it still hasn't broken the high. So this signal is still in play. So and one could even say, in order to print another signal, it's going to have to go and print above this box. So even if one went short on the Dow here and put a stop at, what would that be, 300 points. I mean, that's a hell of a stop. But if you're trading micros, you're trading 10-cent lots or 50-cent lots, it's $150 risk. That's still in play. Do I recommend MT4, MT5? You know what I like about MT5 is the fact that, let me just go into my other chart. Should make it out here. MT5, I like that you can do, especially if you day trade and scalping. Like if I'm scalping in the room, I'm doing it on 3-minute charts. I like the fact that I can use 3-minute. I can even use an 8-hour chart. I mean, how cool is that? So that's an 8-hour chart. I'll just refresh it to get my candles. That's obviously my daughter's template. Now, when you look at that, yeah, beautiful trend. And look how that indicator, just except for that one there, every other trade, and that one there. So it's 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 winners and 2 losses. It's pretty good. You're up at about 77%. But these ones here, what I like, the 8-hour chart is phenomenal, because obviously you don't want to be stuck glued to your charts all the time. but you can literally put a bar timer on it, and that's what I do with this. So if you look at that one that I've shown you before on the NASDAQ, oh, hang on, I've screwed my chart up there. I'll have to fix it up later because I changed it. Where am I? GR30. So you can see I've got a 480 minute. So 480 minutes is 8 hours. And the nice thing about this is I know in 4 hours time, so the time now where I am is 8:49. So I've got 4 hours and 10 minutes, which will put me at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I can just set my alarm. So if I'm trading just off my 8 hour chart, I can set my alarm at 1 o'clock in the morning. I can get up, have a glass of water, and I can check my chart, move my stops. If I get an entry, for example, let's say for example on this one, right? The TAS boxes. So the TAS box break on this one, what I've done is I've set it that on the first break that I get, I can get, for example, the blue candle is my buying candle, and then this one is supposed to be lighter than the other ones, which I'll change very often in the session. But something like this. If I take this one here, you can see a TAS box. We get multiple TAS box breaks. So I might get up here, and in 8 hours, I might be in the middle of the night. I get up. Yeah, I'm still in play. I haven't come in. I haven't breached my low value area. I'm still in play, or I might get a re-entry here. And then I can just check it every 8 hours. So I only got to check it 3 times a day. And then what I do with my laptop and my iPad and my phone, in fact, is I use a program called Splashtop. So Splashtop is a remote access. I can remote access my my desktop, and then when I'm at work, I can just go in, have a look at log into my computer, pull up my charts. And then that's it. Look at that. Look at that NASDAQ. How beautiful is that? 14 points. 14 points. So here I'm going to go stop to break even. In fact, I'll close the NASDAQ out because we've made. Just to say that we have 13 points, 13 points, and we can close that out for a profit of 13. And what I'll just do is just so that we can call full transparency. So we sold here and we bought back here. So that's that NASDAQ trade. Well, I'll have a look at your broker. Email me, just take a screenshot of your broker, and then I'll let you know what trade, what symbols are what. If you want IC markets, okay. I've got IC markets on here. What I'll do is I'll put it on my. I'll put it in my diary to download IC markets, and if you come in tomorrow, then I will let you know on IC markets what in fact, I tell you what, email me. I'll give you my email address. Okay, if you email me a screenshot of your watch list. So if you just go here, for example, you could even go show all, and then just send me. It won't look as complicated as this because this is all real futures. This is one of the only brokers that connects with real futures. But if you send me a screenshot, then I'll just be able to show you in the room tomorrow what's what. Okay. But no, that's good. It's funny, the Nasdaq's hammered down like that, which is great. And I always said, the Nasdaq was my favorite trade because it's blue skies. But the DAX hasn't moved as much, but the DAX will catch up. So I just wanted to get some profit on the table tonight. And then I've got on my top account. I'm done. I've locked in some profit on my own account. I'm going to let that run. And I'll probably, if I get another dip below, I'll probably just move my stops break even. But it seems that you're not in that trade. That's fine. What else are we doing? Excellent. All right. So I'm going to the pound yen. I'm still comfortable with that. The DAX, I'm still really comfortable with that. I'm going to give it a little bit more room on the on my stop. Yeah, no, I'm still very comfortable in that. I mean, my stop's above the Friday high. That's all I care about. All right. Well, thank you all. It's pretty much my wife's gone on camp holiday with my youngest daughter. I've been going for an hour and a half, so I've got to go make her dinner before she kills me. It'll probably be a trip to the restaurant, get some sushi or something. But look, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you got some value tonight. I want to thank you for stopping by. Pretty much every day. So I'm normally in here. Thank you very much. I'm normally in here about half an hour to 15 minutes before 8 o'clock London time. That's when I get in the room and I trade Monday to Thursday. I trade the London Open for the first hour, and pretty much, I will be trading that Dow Jones tomorrow, just because I didn't get the movement, but maybe that'll change. I'm going to keep an eye on the DAX. Like I said, we've just started trading the DAX really this week. Because I've managed to get onto FX here, and the DAX works better than on the CFDs and the futures. But I will be trading that YM tomorrow, because I know if I trade the YM in the ES, I'm pretty much not guaranteed, but I say almost to myself, I'm guaranteed a profitable trade every day, and I'm guaranteed a profitable day, which I've had. I think I've had 2 losing days in the last 2 months, which is bloody good going. But until then, trade well, stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow. Any questions, send me an email. Thank you. See you later. Bye.